Demonstrators rally at OU against the president's travel ban. Students describe how the ban affects their lives and a progress report on racial grievances on campus. This is OU Nightly.
American family, and we're not going to be divided.
President Boren joined about 100 students on the South Oval today together. They stood for equality and against division. They're protesting a presidential order temporarily banning entry to the U.S. to travelers from 7 predominantly Muslim nations.
Following the detainment of refugees at John F. Kennedy Airport over the weekend, protests erupted across the nation, protesting Trump's executive order on immigration.
Demonstrators at OU and across the nation and world illustrate the widespread concern for President's travel ban. And within the crowds are the individuals whose lives are being turned upside down. OU Nightly's Macee Beheler talked to OU students directly impacted by President Trump's immigration initiatives.
In an attempt to deliver on one of his biggest campaign promises, Friday, President Trump signed an executive order.
We only want to admit those into our country who will support our country and love deeply our people.
Banning non-U.S. citizens from 7 Muslim-majority countries and Syrian refugees from entering the United States, the order was met with protests across the country, and some believe that it could be a step in the wrong direction for America.
Little sparks like these that I don't even want to imagine what it could turn into if Trump still continues to have this ban or even create such policies.
Hamidreza Esmailpour is one of 113 OU international students directly impacted by the travel ban. Esmailpour is studying for his PhD in physics. He hasn't been back to his home country, Iran, in over 3 years, and now won't be headed back anytime soon.
The America that I knew about wasn't like what was signed by President Trump. This situation, it seems, are dividing people just based on their nationalities and just about their faith.
But he still believes America is a land of opportunity.
I should say, now I'm really happy after these 2 or 3 days, because I see there are lots of American people who are supporting their international friends, and this is really heartwarming for me.
With Nate Fain, I'm Macee Beheler, OU Nightly.
The travel ban on Muslim-majority countries will last a minimum of 90 days. The block on Syrian refugees will last 100 days. Reagan Ledbetter will join us later in the show with the latest on the rally.
And as Macee said, OU has 113 international students who came to Norman from the 7 countries included in the president's travel ban. That potentially creates monumental problems for them. If they want or need to return to their homes, they might not be able to return to the U.S. Consequently, President Boren has advised them to cancel any plans to leave the states. Boren's statement says, "Our recommendation to persons who might be affected by the executive order is to refrain from traveling outside of the United States if they are already here, or try to return to the United States as soon as possible if currently outside of the country." He added, "When we reduce the opportunities for young people to come to America, we not only harm them, but we also damage the image and inspiration of America around the world." And students with any questions on the issue should contact the College of International Studies 24/7 hotline or International Student Services.
Concerns about the president's executive order on immigration has come from a surprising source, Oklahoma Senator James Lankford. Lankford says the order has unintended consequences that were not well thought out. Lankford ended his statement with the notion that America has always welcomed people from different walks of life, religion, and countries. He believes we should continue to do so.
Oklahoma Senior Senator Jim Inhofe also spoke out, offering this clarification of the president's order. He said this is not a Muslim ban, as the measure suspends all refugee admittance. And he echoed Senator Lankford, saying the U.S. has been a beacon around the world for religious freedom and will continue to be that beacon.
Abby Green is in the News Center with more on former President Barack Obama's comments on events following Trump's travel ban. Abby?
Former President Barack Obama released a statement today expressing solidarity with those protesting his successor's ban. The ban prevents travelers and refugees from entering the U.S. from 7 Muslim countries. The statement was issued under Obama's spokesman, Kevin Lewis, and was the first time Obama has weighed in on Trump's presidency. A federal judge in New York has blocked part of Trump's executive order on immigration. It was ruled that authorities couldn't remove individuals from Muslim countries who had arrived at U.S. airports once the order had been issued. The lawsuit in New York was the first legal challenge to Trump's executive order. Gunmen killed 6 people last night at a mosque in Quebec City. The attack occurred in the city's Islamic Cultural Center and is being investigated by police as an act of terrorism. 39 people who were at the mosque at the time of the shooting were unharmed, and of the 8 injured, 6 are in critical condition. 2 people have been arrested. President Trump has signed an executive order that would require agencies to revoke 2 regulations for every new rule they want to issue.
Thanks, Abby.
Well, it's very nice outside today, but unfortunately there's some scary wildfires going on around the state.
And it is atrocious, but every rose has its thorn. Grant Tosterud is here with more on the wildfires. Grant?
That's right. The spring-like weather definitely does come with that wildfire threat. We've even seen a few around Norman and Oklahoma City today. Right now, though, in Norman, we're sitting at 74 degrees. Very spring-like today. Winds west-southwest at 60 miles per hour. Very dry out there. Humidity only 12%. Elsewhere across the state, all in the 70s. 72 in Ardmore, 75 up in Oklahoma City. We've seen those wildfires down here over in Cleveland County. One near downtown Oklahoma City and one over near Blanchard as well. And usually when we see hot temperatures like this in spring, it comes with some windy weather. Not so much today. And that's definitely helping with that wildfire threat. I'll have more on spring-like weather in Maine weather. Back to you.
Thank you, Grant. Well, still ahead on OU Nightly, OU Unheard evaluates the university's progress since the release of its 7 grievances.
Plus, an eroding dam threatens Norman homes.
Welcome back. Well, just hours ago, students spilled onto the South Oval for a diversity rally. Now Reagan Ledbetter is there. Reagan? Okay, well, tell me next time.
There was yelling, passion, and protest as OU gathered together in solidarity. Co-organizer of the event, Caleb Paris, says that this needed to be part protest and part rally, but with the emphasis on the rally.
We need people, especially students here that are affected by the recent executive order, to know that they're a part of a community that does care, that isn't going to sit by and let them suffer through this, any kind of anxiety that they may have.
The new travel ban has created chaos and confusion at airports across the country and elsewhere. The uncertainty of the situation brings stress to students at OU, and many came out to make their voices heard.
At the end of the day, like I said, if we stand together and if we are strong together, then no forces of evil are going to be able to take us down.
This is not just only my problem or his or her problem. This is our problem. We don't want you to make America great. America was already great.
And there will be another protest held on Thursday. Well, the campus organization OU Unheard in 2015 released what it called the 7 grievances. They recently took to Twitter with a progress report. #roll the credits. Today we take a look at how far we have progressed as a community since the release of the 7 grievances. The organization revisited the grievances nearly 2 years later. It said that while OU has made progress on some, there still are areas that need improvement. OU Unheard's press secretary Chelsea Davis said retention and increase of Black faculty and staff. There have been small changes across the university as far as hiring, but they expect to see more. Davis said that OU Unheard is thankful for all university officials' efforts so far, but will never be satisfied until all marginalized groups feel welcomed and supported by the institution.
Governor Mary Fallin is on the verge of entering untested waters. The state's chief executive is about to select a name to fill an opening on the Oklahoma Supreme Court. Fallin is considering 3 nominees: Bryan County District Judge Mark Campbell, LaFleur County District Judge Jonathan Sullivan, and Solicitor General Patrick Wyrick. Next week, the governor is expected to meet with the 3 candidates.
For 6 years, water has been eroding the dams near the Summit Lake neighborhood just off Alameda Street. If the dam breaks, homes surrounding the dam as well as Alameda Street could be flooded. This has led the Oklahoma Water Resource Board to declare this a high hazard. However, fixing the dam isn't going to be easy.
The HOA has had a really difficult time complying with the requirements of the state because of costs, frankly, and because of the complexity of the process. And so recently determined by them that the cost to repair the dam is $700,000.
And Norman City Council is trying to decide on a plan to fix the dam and make sure that the public remains safe.
A local used car lot was thrust into scandals this week when the owner and his financial manager were sentenced to more than 2 years in prison for bank fraud. Timothy J. Williams, owner of Lindsay Street Motors, was sentenced to 41 months in prison for crimes committed against the Bank of Union, among other financial institutions. His financial manager was sentenced to only 31 months in prison for similar charges. Both men have been ordered to pay restitution of more than $1.2 million.
Well, still ahead on OU Nightly, historic Grand Slam results.
Plus, Grant Tosterud takes full responsibility for a beautiful spring day.
That's right, feeling and even starting to look a little bit like spring out there. I'll show you coming up next how long this will stick with us. Welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Grant Tosterud. Well, a wintry scene has set up shop across Cleveland, Ohio, as they've already seen a foot of snow from lake effect snow on the Great Lakes. Much different from what we see here. If we take a look at their radar there, you can see this snow moving its way off the Great Lakes. As it runs over the Great Lakes, the warm water evaporates, and then when it gets over the cooler ground, it falls as snow. Even reports of thunder snow out there in Cleveland. Here, no snow in the forecast at all. A beautiful, still winter day, but sure looks and feels like spring out there. Even some of the trees starting to bud, but max temperatures across the day definitely looking a lot like spring. We reached 75 degrees here in Norman, only 2 degrees shy of our record set back in 2016. So only a year ago did we see temperatures like this again. 77 was that record, but we're going to be on a bit of a roller coaster for the next week, high temperature wise, as we see temperatures in the 70s today and then greatly cooling down by midweek Thursday below 45, and then slowly working our way back up through the weekend. And that's because we're going to see a center of low pressure develop off the Rockies and then move across the southern Great Plains, bringing with it a chance for rain as well, cooler temperatures and some gusty winds the middle of the week as well. Now tonight, though, it's going to be cool, but well above average. Our average this time of year is still 27 degrees, and we're almost 40 here in Norman, 39 actually, 40 degrees up in Oklahoma City, 36 in Enid, 35 in Woodward, so well above average for this time of year. As you head out the door, grab that jacket, but it's going to be one of those Oklahoma days. By afternoon, you can shed it, and then mid and upper 60s by 5 p.m. Elsewhere across the state, another spring-like day, 70 in Ardmore, 68 in Norman, 67 in Oklahoma City. Now look at this 7-day. Plenty of sun through Wednesday. Cooler temps come Wednesday, 59 degrees. Then much cooler, feeling a little bit more like winter come Thursday. But clouds move in and temperatures go up once again, with the best chance for rain on Saturday. And then the rain clears out back up in the city's 60s by the end of next weekend.
Wow, that's great. I'm so excited that we've been having such wonderful spring-like weather.
I know, it's
lately.
pretty unusual for this time of year.
Yeah, do you
I
think
can deal
it's
with just 2 days of winter and then just another week of this spring nice weather, so that's awesome. Yeah.
Right,
Yes.
right. Yep.
Thank you, Grant.
You're welcome.
Well, Stephen Mudd is here, and so is Bedlam Basketball. Stephen?
Hey, that's right. And Bedlam Basketball is tonight, and I'll tell you what happened in yesterday's Thunder game. Sports is around the corner. Welcome to Untitled Sports. I'm Stephen Mudd. Brent Musburger called his last ever OU game this past weekend as the Oklahoma Sooners hosted the 25th ranked Florida Gators in the annual SEC Big 12 Challenge. And the game was not pretty, as the Sooners were annihilated in every aspect of the game. The Sooners shot an embarrassing 6% from the arc, 27% from the field, and got out-rebounded 50-39. The Sooners would go on to lose 84-52, but there is still hope as the Sooners host their in-state rival, the Oklahoma State Cowboys, tonight in the LNC at 8 o'clock.
is not reflected in the conference standings. That's really the only difference in terms of preparation or significance in playing the game. Yeah, it's like any one of the other 30 that we play.
While the men's b-ball team lost Saturday night, the men's gymnastics team did not. The #1 men's gymnastics team defeated the #8 ranked Michigan Wolverines with a score of 430 to 400. The Sooners won each event and had a player with the highest score in every event. Sophomore stud Yoel Moldauer had the highest all-around score with a total of 88.35. The Sooners will travel to Iowa next Friday to take on the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Minnesota Gophers. The OU men's and women's track team got the W this weekend, as well as the OU men's and women's tennis teams. The men's track and field win was capped off by Everett Favor, who had a personal best and meet high of 17.5 feet on pole vault. The women's tennis team opened up the year 2017 with a dominant 6-1 win against the UTEP Miners. But sadly, not every team in Oklahoma got a win this weekend. The Oklahoma City Thunder traveled to Cleveland on Sunday to tip off against the Cavaliers. The trip didn't go as expected for the Thunder as they lost 107 to 91. But once again, Russell Westbrook tallied another triple-double. The Brody pulled down 12 boards, dished out 10 assists, and put up 20 points. Although Russell didn't shoot well from the field, only cashing in 7 of his 26 attempts. The Thunder will travel to San Antonio tomorrow to take on the Spurs at 7:30. Ludacris said it best. She always bring the racket like Venus and Serena. This lyric rang true Saturday night at the Australian Open as the Williams sisters faced off in the championship round. Serena would win in 2 straight sets, passing Steffi Graf on the all-time list with 23 Grand Slams. As for the men's side of the Australian Open, it would be Roger Federer defeating rival Rafael Nadal in a 5-set classic. The two traded sets the whole night, with Federer winning the first, third, and fifth set 6-4, 6-1, and 6-3. This win gives Roger his 18th Grand Slam title. As for a game that normally results in high scoring and doesn't mean a whole lot, this Pro Bowl was a bit different. NFC quarterbacks led the way with 308 yards, Kirk Cousins throwing for 158 of those, but it would be Andy Dalton and Alex Smith who would lead their team to victory as they both threw a touchdown pass. Justin Tucker also added 2 field goals as the AFC would win 20-13. Moving to the NHL All-Star Game that features an odd format between 3 All-Star teams. The first of 3 games featured the Pacific Division beating the Central Division 10-3, followed by the Metro Division defeating the Atlantic Division 10-6. This set up a championship round between the Metro Division and the Pacific Division. The Metro team would prevail in a close 4-3 victory. Justin Tucker is one of the greatest kickers in football and has nailed some amazing field goals, but none as amazing as this one. Tucker lines up from 50 yards out and boots a football into that basketball goal that was attached to the goalpost, and it's simply incredible. Guys, I don't know what to say about that one.
That's impressive. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think they should kind of incorporate this kick trick challenge, kind of like in the NBA All-Star Game, they have the NBA Skills Challenge where they pass it through the hoops and everything, but they should do it where they just kick field goals.
Hey, anything to make the Pro Bowl and just those festivities a little more popular for viewership. So
I think they need to do that. I think so.
Well, thanks, Steven.
Well, still to come on OU Nightly, Grant will give us one last look at weather. Well, that's our time. Thank you for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by Gaylord College at the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.